Hi, my name is Mark Obenel. I teach Unreal classes here at Louisiana State University. And one of the problems that keeps coming up is that when you install Unreal, I really like to just double-click the UProject file. I like to be able to just quickly run it by double-clicking the UProject file. And this sometimes doesn't allow you to do it, and you don't get Unreal Editor as a hint. So this is a fresh install. I just got the PC back from a repair shop, so they wiped the hard drive, and I thought I'd just send this video because when I installed Unreal, it didn't have any of the associations with the files. So let's start with how do I get Unreal Engine to be recognized to launch this file? So I'm going to right-click and go Open With. So Open With, and I'm going to choose another app because often you don't get Unreal Editor here. So I'm going to go choose another app on my PC. I'm going to go to where I installed Unreal. Now it typically installs to C program files if you've left the defaults to Epic Games, and then the version. And this is, I'm using version 5.6. So I'm going to open up 5.6. I'm going to go to Engine. I'm going to go to Binaries. I'm going to go to Win64, and I can sort on application type, and I'm looking for Unreal Editor. And this is what I want to load the project with. So I'm going to open, and it opens with Unreal Editor, and I'm going to go Always. And it's going to create this symlink, and it's got this Unreal Engine link. So now I can double click it, and I can launch Unreal from it. And that solves the linking problem. Now, there's one problem here. There are some very useful tools that Unreal has. If I right click and go show more options, I would get these Unreal tools where I can upgrade a version, I can generate a solution file. So this is missing. So it does make an association with the software. It's going to load it. I'm going to stop it from loading. It's going to load it, but I'm not getting the options that I would get if I want to build a solution file. So here's 3 techniques for building a solution file for when you have either the blank page or the black icon and not the blue icon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to where the editor is. So if I go back to C program files, Epic Games, and I go to the editor, the launcher, not the Unreal version, but the launcher. And I go to launcher, and I go to engine, and I go to binaries, and I go to Win64, and I look for Unreal Version Selector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to and notice that that's blue, and that's what I want to be running. I don't want to be running the engine. I want to be running the Unreal Version Selector, which I believe looks at your UProject file, which has the version on it and launches the install version if you have it installed in your machine. So I'm going to go copy, and I'm going to go back to Epic Games, back to 5.6, engine, binaries, Win64, and I'm going to paste it in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it as administrator. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go run as administrator, and I'm going to go yes. And it's going to say register this directory as an Unreal Engine installation, and I go yes. And it goes registration selection is successful. So then I'm going to go back to my game, and I'm going to go back and see if that works. I'm going to go to PFT Digital Twin, and I see it is still black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go show more. I'm going to go open with, and now I've got this other option here. So I'm going to pick the blue icon, and that doesn't let me set it. So I'm going to close this off, and instead I'm going to go open with, and I'm going to go choose another app, and I'm going to choose the blue one, and I'm going to go always. So I always want to use this blue icon. And now I get the blue icon, and when I right click and go show more options, I've got the generate Visual Studio files, switch Unreal Engine version, and launch game. So now I've got these project files, and I use the generate Visual Studio project files all the time. Let's just generate. So right now, if I wanted to launch this in either Visual Studio or Rider, I'd need to generate a solution file. So I'm going to quit this. And I'm going to generate a solution file the regular way. So now that I've got these associations, I can actually go generate Visual Studio project file, and I will generate that project file. So it should pop up. And it should start generating. There we go. So it's going to generate the solution file that then I can load into Rider or into Visual Studio. And it seems to be working. I'm not getting any errors. And if you do get errors, you need to make sure when you're installing the drivers that you have all the Visual Studio components installed. So Visual Studio does not come pre-installed with what you need for Unreal, and it clearly describes in this link, which I'll leave in the video, in my description, for the added components. So these are the Visual Studio components you need to have installed, and you need to make sure that your version coincides with the version that's required here. It's always best to go with the recommended version just to make sure you have no compile issues. So if I go back, I've got my solution file, and now I've got it. I can open this with Rider, which is my favorite IDE of choice. So I can go here, I can open it with Rider, and I can go always, and then now it'll automatically open my solution file with Rider. So we can just open the solution file, and then I can launch Unreal from that solution file. Now that takes a while to do. So I'm just going to hit pause here on the video and fast forward, and then we'll go through. Okay, so Unreal's loaded the project. It took a while, and this is a large project. So there's it's a pretty big level that we've got here that we're working on. So what I can do then, since I have the solution file, is I can just hit and I can run the editor directly from the IDE. So this is directly from Rider. You can do the same thing in Visual Studio. So this will load up, and I'll take a break while it loads up because this is quite a big level. I'm getting a warning here that the compiler version I've got installed is not the preferred version, but it seems to work for me, so I'm going to leave it. Now it's compiling the game. Okay, it failed to compile. So I believe I just have to check out my binaries folder. So I'm going to go check out my binaries folder. Let me do that on this screen so you can see what I'm doing. Whoops. Get that back here. So essentially I did not have my binary folders checked out. So essentially I went into my project, went to my binaries folder, and checked them out. It's going to recompile the binary, so it has to write to it. I'm going to play again. It's going to compile, and it's going to be able to write to them, and now it's launching Unreal. And I'll see on the other side when it loads up. This is a large project. This is the Louisiana State University campus. I'm not sure if you can see that. So there we go. We've got the solution file generated, and we're running from the IDE. So I'm just going to stop it, stop the game, quit the IDE, and let's go 2 more methods of generating our solution file. So let's exit, and let's go back, and let's imagine I wasn't able to do this. So I'm going to get rid of my solution file, which is right here. I'll delete it. I get my vsconfig file, get rid of my hidden folder, and again I have the problem of, let's say I want to run it and I need to generate a solution file. Now if I can actually run it from the UProject without compiling, so if I've got compiled binaries, which I do now because I just compiled them, then it should run and I can generate it from within the engine. So we're going to run the game, and we're going to run it through here, and we'll generate a solution file in the engine that I can then use in any IDE, including Rider and Visual Studio. So right here under Tools, in Unreal 5.6, it's under Tools and Generate Visual Studio Project. And this will generate the solution file. So we're going to grab it, and we'll look at my folder and just double check that builds that solution file. I can see it's updating the code, generating the project files. I should get a solution at the end of this. So as we can see, at 12:09, it generated a solution file. Okay, so let's do a final method. So this is a third way that I've used if I can't get the solution file built through the normal method. So I can delete that. I'll delete these. And this is the final method. So I'm going to use command lines. I'm going to go CMD. And I am going to go to where my build tool is located. And my Unreal build tool should be located in, let me just check. It's located in the .NET. That's it. It's in the .NET folder. So essentially, if I go CD, I'm just going to go back to my C drive, my root of CD, and I'm going to go to Program Files, and I'm going to go to Epic Games, and then I'm going to go to 5.6, which is the version I'm using, and you can go to the version that you're using as well. And then I'm going to go to Engine, and then I'm going to go to Binaries, and then instead of going to Win64, I'm going to go to .NET. And in this .NET folder, I have an Unreal build tool. And that's what I'm going to go to. I'm going to go to the Unreal build tool. And I've got UnrealVersionSelector.exe, and that's what I want. So what I'm going to do is I am going to type in a command that will build the solution file. So this runs the build tool. So this is the current directory that I'm in, and it runs the build tool. You could be somewhere else and actually type the path in if you want. And then I go -project files, -project, and the location of my project. Mine's on my D drive, and it's in this folder, and the file is called pftdigitaltwin.uproject. And then since it's got spaces, I put quotation marks around it. And then I've got space-game and space-engine, and this will generate a solution file. So I'm going to go enter, and it doesn't recognize batch as an operable program. Okay. I thought I had this running earlier. I wonder if I need to do this in admin. So I'm going to go back to CMD. I'm going to run as admin. And I'm going to, oops, I have to go back. I'll copy and paste again. I'll run it. And what does it say? Is it, I thought it was dot and then slash, or is it slash then dot? No. There we go. Backward slash. I had the wrong slash direction. Okay, and I've generated a solution file, 1213. So this is the final way you can generate a solution file. So there you go. If you don't have your associations and you can't right-click and generate a solution file, you can simply run a script, or if you can go into Unreal, generate your solution file that way. And then you can load it up into your favorite IDE and have it up and running. Also, if you don't have your associations, you can right-click, open with, and remember you want the blue icon. You want the Unreal version selector, not the not running it directly from the editor. That way you have these extra tools when you are on your project, and you can right-click and get these associations. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful.